News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Electoral Commissioner Charlotte Osei directs 3 officers of the commission to proceed on leave following loss of about 480,000 cedis from its endowment fund. Trial judge in the Major Mahama murder case includes 22-year-old for prosecution after biodata evidence proved he is not a juvenile. President Kufuor commissions FPSO Kufuor and says the commercial production of oil has set the tone towards making Ghana an energy hub in West Africa. And in business this evening, Ghana's private sector signs $2 billion facility with the China National Building Materials and Equipment Company to provide funding for government One District, One Factory project. And on international front tonight, a truck carrying goods and passengers crashes into the Central African Republic, killing 80 people.
And we've got the details of these stories for you, as well as the very latest from the world of sports and entertainment here on News 360. So stay with us.
Stories evening. The Electoral Commission chairperson Charlotte Osei has directed 3 officers of the commission to proceed on leave to pave way for investigations into the commission's endowment fund. The commission's head of communications, Eric Kofi Jakpasu, explained the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, is investigating why some monies that were supposed to be paid into the fund were not paid. Jonathan Adams has the rest of the story.
A letter from the Commission's chairperson, Charlotte Osei, directed Deputy Commissioner Eugino Pokwamankwa, Director of Finance, Dr. Joseph Kweku Asamoah, and Chief Accountant, Kweku Owusu Ejelabi, to proceed on leave while investigation into the endowment fund continues. This follows Economic and Organized Crime Office EOCO's letter dated July 4, 2017, indicating it is investigating the loss of about 480,000 cedis from the Commission's endowment fund. EOCO therefore asked the chairperson to direct the 3 officers to proceed on leave whilst investigation continue.
Some monies meant for the endowment fund has not been paid into the fund. That is what is under investigation. This is a money paid into a fund administered by the management on behalf of staff. So as to who is supposed to pay and hasn't paid is the subject of the investigation.
But the Commission's head of communications says no wrongdoing has been established.
Some people have been made to go on leave, to step aside, not on the basis of any wrongdoing or any adverse findings against them, but per the position they occupy in the scheme of things, okay, and for the integrity of the investigation process.
The endowment fund constitutes financial contributions from workers.
And still on the commission, the EC has failed to produce an Accra High Court evidence of the implementation of the Representation of the People's Amendment Law, also known as ROPO. The commission, which was ordered to produce the evidence a month ago, is now seeking to rely on 2 documents it has tendered before the court as evidence of the implementation.
The 2 documents submitted by the Electoral Commission pointed out efforts made to implement the law, which was countered by the counsel for the plaintiff, Samson Ladi Ayenene, indicating that the documents were insufficient and did not give details of the steps to execute the law. A roadmap that is drawn to execute the policy contained in the document could not outline timelines and exactly the plan to be taken. Counsel for the Electoral Commission prayed the court for 2 weeks leave to provide the court with additional information on the implementation of ROPO. The EC on July 5 told the court they will rely on the 2 documents they had already tendered in. Lawyer for the plaintiff and the judge, Justice Anthony Yabua, did not take it kindly. 5 Ghanaians residents abroad initiated a legal action against the EC, seeking to compel the Commission to implement the Representation of the People's Amendment Law. Among others, the plaintiffs are seeking a declaration that each of the applicants' right to vote and entitlement to be registered as a voter for the purposes of public elections and referenda in the light of Act 699. It added various legal instruments are not subject to any condition precedent aside Article 42 citizenship, age and sanity of mind criteria.
Well, prosecution in the Major Mahama murder trial have uncovered the biodata of the 17-year-old Ebenezer Asamoah, considered a juvenile standing trial. Evidence produced in court and corroborated by the father of the suspect indicates he sat for the Basic Education Certificate Examinations, BCE, in 2015 at the age of 19. So, Kamala Kuluche, that's the rest of the story.
Heavily guarded, the suspect arrived at the magistrate court. William Bam, the assemblyman at the center of the murder, steps out of the van. He questions prosecutors and spectators who had assembled in court and hurled insults at them. He is assured police will not allow the crowd to hurl insults at them. Prosecution at the hearing on Thursday, July 6, asked the court to discharge 13 people they say they had no evidence against. The 13 include the snail seller who allegedly raised the alarm that late Maxwell Mahama was an armed robber. Prosecution told the court Akosua Techua Elias Mami Bunu, together with the 12 others, will now become witnesses. Prosecution, led by Deputy Superintendent of Police George Amega, also revealed in court the true identity of the 17-year-old considered a juvenile. George Amega told the court the police uncovered hardcore evidence which proved Ebenezer Asamoah lied to the court about his age. Prosecution on the last adjourned date was directed by the court to send him to the Boston home. Evidence adduced in court showed he sat for the basic certificate exams in 2015 at the age of 19 and was born on April 1, 1995. The evidence was corroborated by the father of the suspect. The court, however, agreed on the face of the evidence it should be added to the 19 people who were standing trial. Police have meanwhile discharged 13 people with 13 others on the run. The court, however, adjourned sitting to July 19. Kamala Kuluche, TV3 News, Accra.
And counsel for Aisha Wang and 4 others who have been charged for engaging in illegal mining has told the court the missing passports of the 2 of his clients have been found and handed over to the court registrar. The court therefore granted the 2 bail after the registrar confirmed he's taken custody of the passports.
At the last sitting, the court revoked the bail granted the 2, Gab Jingyang and Lee Gyunjun, for not fulfilling the bail conditions ordered by the court. This was subsequently granted on July 5 after the defense counsel told the court the missing passports have been found and handed over to the registrar. He told the court they were found after a series of radio announcements. Earlier, the prosecution, Mercy Arthur, had substituted a previous charge sheet with a new one which contained facts of the matter that were not provided in the earlier charge sheet. Counsel for Aisha Wang and the 4 others also drew the attention of the court of the unavailability of an interpreter, which the prosecution indicated to the court arrangements have been made to secure an interpreter who was supposed to be present in court. The prosecution told the court 7 witnesses have been secured for definite hearing of the case on July 12.
Away from the court, 17 commercial sex workers, including 11 teenagers and lactating mothers, have been arrested by the Nima Divisional Police. Also in the grips of the police are 9 male patrons, including a number of pimps who attacked the police with stones in a bid to prevent them from carrying out their lawful duty.
Wednesday night's operation was conducted around the Odo railway station at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle after weeks of surveillance. The police said their action followed persistent public outcry and complaint over child prostitution in the area. Some of the commercial sex workers aged between 15 and 35 years, the police alleged, were caught in the act, whilst others were negotiating with their clients at the time of the arrest. They include 11 teenage lactating mothers, one of whom was with a 3-month-old baby. Others have babies ranging between 6 months to 7 years. The lactating mothers told the police in their caution statement they keep their babies with a nanny for a fee of 5 cedis per night. According to the sex workers, they normally return to breastfeed the baby during the period. They charge between 20 and 80 cedis per client based on the locale and the facility available to them. But the police did not find it easy with the operation. Some of the male clients reportedly resisted and attempted to shield the commercial sex workers from arrest. They were reportedly joined by the pimps who pelted the police with stones and other missiles. The police said they had to resort to firing of warning shots in order to subdue them, leading to the arrest of 9 of them.
It's a worrying trend for we, the police, and the society at large, because we are there, we as the police are mandated to maintain law and order. And we are also to make sure that we just try to reform the society by putting such social miscreants at bay.
All 26 suspects are being prepared to be put before court on Friday, charged with unlawful soliciting for sex, obstruction of lawful duty and attack on security officers.
Well, let's turn our attention to other stories this evening, as the Volta Regional House of Chiefs say the atrocities committed in the name of the Nkonya-Alavano communal conflict are purely acts of crime and lawlessness. The chiefs contend killings are no longer related to the historical land dispute.
Several efforts to stop the violence has failed as innocent lives have been lost. 6 lives were again lost between April and May this year, and crime continue with no arrest. Traditional authorities in the area are worried. The Volta Regional House of Chiefs say the inability of security agencies to identify culprits is as a result of an oath of silence among the people. This, they vow, must change.
So if I ask the chiefs to go back and make sure that take up the leadership, take up the authority that they have, to break this code of silence and to report incidents that happen. The culprits live among the people.
In a renewed effort, the Volta Regional House of Chiefs on Wednesday held a dialogue with the leadership of the 2 communities at Ho. The meeting seeks to identify hidden issues and once again help broker lasting peace. The paramount chief of the Likwe traditional area and president of the Volta Regional House of Chiefs, Nana Soglo Alo IV, disclosed inhabitants have sworn an oath of secrecy and silence, hence will not give up anyone involved in criminal acts.
What came out clearly today, that the 2 communities, Peme and Tai, who are the victims of these atrocities, they are very small communities. Tai, for example, I believe, so less than 2,000 people. Peme is virtually the same. So they know each other. So we've put in the responsibility on the chiefs to make sure that they cooperate with the national security, the security apparatus in the country, culprits that they identify as being the criminals in the community, to be brought to book.
All invited personalities from the 2 communities attended and agreed in principle to help resolve the impasse.
We are talking to our youth that conflict is not good. Therefore, we need to stop this nonsense and continue and live in peace, in harmony.
The paramount queen of Nkonya traditional area, Nana Otubia II, welcomed the initiative.
Because there are certain people who are interested and are gaining from these criminal activities.
On his part, the regent of Nkonya Tai, Nana Yawo Elete, who represented the paramount chief of the Nkonya traditional area, Nana Okoto Kofi III, said every effort must be made to end the unwarranted killings.
I should say that the land issue was resolved as far as 1980. So it's a different thing altogether. And we want people to delve into it and find out who are the causes of all those things. So if you can assist us to go into it and find out those who have been asked to come in to kill at random, we'll be also very happy.
The meeting, the first in the series, tasked leadership of the two communities to reinvigorate negotiation efforts to instill discipline among their grassroots. The meeting was held in a peaceful atmosphere that saw the regional police SWAT team virtually on holiday. Meanwhile, the decision of the suspension of the two paramountcy from the Regional House of Chiefs has been deferred until the next general meeting in September.
I think now also the lot falls on the security agencies to clamp down on the perpetrators of these murders in Nkonya and Alavanyo if it's not related to the land dispute. Away from that, President Akufo-Addo says the commercial production of oil has set the tone towards making Ghana an energy hub in the petrochemical industry. Speaking after the commissioning of the Sankofa offshore project, the president insisted production will ensure energy security for the country.
The turning of the valve of the FPSO John Kufuor by President Akufo-Addo heralds the production of oil in commercial quantity. It will also aid the production of 45,000 barrels of crude in the first phase of production, up to 180 million standard cubic feet by the end of next year. The lead operator and largest investor, ENI, holds a 44.44% of stake in the field, while upstream trader Vitol holds 35.56% and GMPC has a combined carried and participation interest of 20%. The partners of the project said production is a big boost towards job creation. President Akufo-Addo was optimistic commercial production will see the country becoming a strong energy hub. He revealed the project has employed some 100 Ghanaian youth. The president called for a prudent management of petroleum resources. He said government will now focus on the exploration of resources onshore on the Volta Basin.
Let's now move over to Parliament as the first Deputy Speaker of the House has blamed politicians for the non-enforcement of most laws in the country. Joseph Osei-Owusu, in contributing to a statement on the floor of Parliament on the need to wear seat belts, said the interferences by political figures often make it difficult for the law enforcement agencies to do their work.
Member of Parliament for Kintampo South, Felicia Ejay, in a statement, said statistics from the National Road Safety Commission in 2016 recorded over 11,000 road crashes with nearly 2,000 deaths. She said the use of seat belts could help in certain situations and encouraged Ghanaians to cultivate the habit of putting on seat belts.
Despite the fact that the Road Traffic Act 2004 at 683 and other laws of Ghana make non-wearing of seatbelts punishable offense, most occupants of vehicles are still adamant.
MP for Clote Colley, Dr. Zaneto Rawlings, wanted strict enforcement of the law.
The wearing of seatbelts for those seated in the back of a vehicle is as important for those in the back as it is for those seated in the front. And I would like to urge the members of public, but as well the police, to enforce the wearing of the seatbelts and perhaps the enforcement of spot fines for those who are not wearing seatbelts to make it more of a disincentive.
Other MPs indicated vehicles are imported into the country without seat belts, yet such cars go through the validation and other processes at the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority and stressed the need for such things to be checked before licenses are given out. But the first Deputy Speaker, Joseph Osei-Owusu, blamed politicians.
We, the politicians, we are the reason why many of those laws are not being enforced. Because any time something is to be done which involves drivers, because they are organized, let one union secretary organizer somewhere raise a voice. It is taking up, and then quickly, if MPP is in power, NDC stands with the drivers. If NDC is in power, MPP stands with the drivers. And in the end, nothing happens. So we should take responsibility.
Mr. Speaker, if perhaps we have to look at the Parent Act, which this House drafted in 2004, again, so be it.
in order for us to be very much more stringent in the application of the law.
The Speaker subsequently directed the First Deputy Speaker and the Chairman and Ranking Member of the Road and Transport Committee to consider the statement again and make recommendations to the House for further action.
You're also watching News 360 here on TV3. It's live as well on GhanaWeb.com. We're also live on our Facebook, on the Facebook page as well, on 3news.com. We're back with the business news, the Nekia Brampa, after this. To stay.
Right, so it's still News 360. Thanks for staying with us. Let's do business now. My name is Nanikia Mensah Brampa. Ghana's private sector, led by the Association of Ghana Industries, has signed a $2 billion facility with the China National Building Materials and Equipment Company to help provide funding for government's One District, One Factory projects. Now, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia says that the deal would provide the necessary capital at subsidized interest rates.
Government has allocated 456.3 million cedis from the 2017 budget for the implementation of its flagship One District, One Factory policy. Following a recent official visit to China, Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia says extra funding has been secured for the private sector to address capital bottlenecks anticipated as a challenge for the successful execution of the program.
China National Building Materials and Equipment Company signed a $2 billion facility with the private sector led by the AGI to provide funding for the One District, One Factory program, and this is very key for our industrialization. And so this is not a loan for government.
Already some banks in the country have expressed interest in partnering the private sector in the $2 billion China financing deal.
Ghana Commercial Bank, Access Bank, Merchant Bank, here a few other banks have suddenly expressed interest, but they will be giving the money. And if you are an investor, you want to do One District, a factory, you can access those funds at a very, very subsidized interest rate.
10 factories across the country are expected to be commissioned soon as part of the first phase of the One District, One Factory policy. The policy is a public-private partnership to transform Ghana's manufacturing sector and spread industrialization to all 216 districts of Ghana.
On agriculture, some farmers in parts of the country have recorded dwindling crop yield as a result of poor farming practices. Scientific researcher at the Crop Research Institute, Joseph Beche, is worried the country's food security will decline if fertilizer use is not encouraged.
Agriculture continues to be the backbone of the economies of many developing countries. In Ghana, agriculture provides employment to 44% of the country's working force. Last year, agriculture contribution to gross domestic product increased to 7,790.18 million cedis in 2016 from 7,567 million cedis in 2015. However, most farmers continue to record dwindling crop yields due to poor farming practices, especially in the area of fertilizer application. The promotion of Yara fertilizer usage in the country is to help ensure national food security. A 2-year research conducted by Yara Ghana field executives, the Crop Research Institute and the USAID Advanced Project on some selected crops including onion, maize, rice, soya beans and oil palm revealed the right application of fertilizer increases crop yield by more than 30%. A scientific researcher at the Crop Research Institute, Joseph Beche, affirmed the nation's food security will be affected negatively if fertilizer usage among farmers is overlooked.
Our fertilizer consumption is very low if you compare it to the developed world. If you don't add fertilizer, then it means that other crops that you are planting, you tend to starve them.
Yara West African agronomist Derek Tufor Mills, who presented the research findings, explained how farmers can derive utmost benefit.
The farmer needs to get the right fertilizer. Then the second step is to be able to apply it at the right rate, at the right time, and then in the right method.
Managing Director of Yara Ghana, Dankwa Adoyobo, says the company has strategically positioned itself to contribute its quota in making the government's Planting for Food and Jobs program a success.
We are not only waiting for government programs, we are still committed to the farmers. So we are out there in the market training and educating farmers and making our products available even beyond the government programs.
Now onto the banking side, and Fidelity, a private Ghanaian bank, has launched an innovative simplified loan product dubbed Fast and Easy Loan. The facility is designed to enable non-customers and customers of the bank to access a 24-hour loan from all the 75 Fidelity Bank branches here in Ghana.
Fast and Easy Loan Facility is a new Fidelity Bank product introduced to help customers access quick loan in the form of savings or investment. The product gives an equal opportunity to new and old account holders to secure loans up to 90% equivalent of the amount deposited with the bank. Customers are required to use their deposit as collateral to take the loan and pay back with 10% interest rates per annum. Managing Director of the bank, Jim Baden, said the innovation is aimed at helping customers with an easy way to solve financial problems.
You can take a minimum of 2,000 Ghana cedis. This product has been designed for anybody who does not want to spend their money. But what we are saying at Fidelity is that bring us these monies. We'll take them into a deposit account at whatever rate we negotiate, and then we'll give you our own money at a net interest cost to you of only 10% per annum. And that is beautiful. If you break it down into monthly costs, it's less than 1% per month.
He added the loan is carefully designed to help Ghanaians to protect their money and still get a loan for their business activities.
And we're targeting to write altogether 500 million Ghana cedis by way of loans. So there's enough money here for anybody who wants to patronize this product. You don't need to be a Fidelity Bank account holder. You do not need to have an account here. All you have to do is to introduce yourself and say that you want to access a Fidelity Fast and Easy Loan. And we'll give you a form to fill, and we'll process everything within 24 hours and give the money to you.
He advised non-customers and customers of Fidelity Bank to save with the bank to attract value.
And away from banking, GASEM has launched its 50th anniversary celebrations, reiterating its commitment to provide quality cement through its constant market evaluation.
Since its establishment in 1967, GASEM has produced more than 30 million tons of cement. As Ghana's biggest cement manufacturer, it has stocked the market with GASEM Extra, GASEM Super Strong and GASEM Super Rapid to meet the diverse needs of construction firms. Managing Director of GASEM, Morten Gade, attributed the company's success to its commitment in providing quality cement through constant market evaluation.
GASEM has been at the forefront of building Ghana. This is demonstrated in some of the significant landmarks that have stood the test of time. We have a demonstrated track record of quality work, and let me assure you, we will continue our commitment to produce quality cement in Ghana.
Board member Dr. Ishmael Yamson warned the government to ensure sanity in the cement industry.
The two things that are very critical for the private sector are policy consistency and the removal of the very many impediments in the microeconomic environment.
Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry Robert Ahunka Lindsay expressed government's commitment towards an industrial transformation.
And we need to ensure that some of our legacy companies grow with us and we encourage them to manufacture locally. We also need to understand that there are challenges that are faced.
Activities to commemorate the anniversary include a health walk, donation to some health facilities, and presidential ball.
Right, finally, let's look at this developing story talking about the much talked about 3% VAT and a meeting between the associations of Ghana Industries, Food and Beverages, Importers and Exporters, Ghana Automobile Distributors and the Finance Committee of Parliament on the 3% flat rate ended inconclusive Thursday. Now, the associations had petitioned the Finance Committee to re-examine the 3% flat rate, which the AGI and the other associations say would bring price increases.
The controversy over the reintroduction of the 3% VAT flat rate, which took effect 1st July, ranges on. The various business associations comprising the Ghana Industries, Importers and Exporters, Food and Beverage and the Ghana Automobile Distributors said the increase could have a serious impact on the economy and business. The associations met with the Finance Committee on Thursday. Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association, Samson Asaki Awingobit, insisted prices of goods would be increased.
Some manufacturers who produce and cannot sell to because the price has increased would either have to lay off their workers or either have to do what? Wind up their businesses, because government is making it point that they want to continue with this policy. Taking 3% from the importer, there is 14.5%, which is a cost to him.
But the Ghana Union of Traders disagreed.
Some people are also claiming that, because we do import when we pay the 17.5% at the port, when we come and charge 3%, it will be added to the 17.5%. That one is also not the situation on the ground, because the import VAT came to replace a sales tax regime, in which at that time, when you import, you pay the sales tax, which doesn't allow you to apply any input and output.
Meanwhile, ranking member of the Finance Committee, Atu Forson, said what government is implementing is contrary to the act passed by Parliament and urged them to do the right thing.
The practice note is illegal because Act 870 makes it clear in Section 48 what constitutes input VAT and what is allowable and what is not allowable. What we are saying is that the Ministry of Finance and the GRA is trying to impose a tax through the back door. Guta is, normally they are part of retailers. Retailers, it suits them because they are not keeping records.
I do not know how further the engagement will go, but at least at the Finance Committee level, this is a one-off, and the report will be brought to leadership, and we'll see the next steps from there.
Well, so what happens next? Well, join us in subsequent bulletins. We'll give you more detail. But that will do for tonight. There's more news on our website. It's 3news.com. My name is Nanekia Mensah Abrampa. We have sports next. Thanks for staying with us.
Hi, good evening, and it's time to bring you all the latest in the world of sports with me, Thierry Nyan. Now, in the latest FIFA ranking for the month of June, Ghana has fallen to 9th on the African continent and 50th in the world after losing 2 friendly games against the United States of America and Mexico. The Black Stars failed to win any of the 2 friendly games they played in last week. Egypt remain the #1 ranked team in Africa, though they dropped 4 places to 24th in the world. Senegal lie in 2nd place. Nigeria have dropped to 6th, while Algeria moved 5 places to usurp Ghana in 8th place. Germany have returned to the summit of the FIFA World Ranking after their Confederations Cup victory over Chile. They climbed 2 places from 3rd to usurp both Brazil and Argentina. So that is the new FIFA ranking list. All right, so now away from that, we do some local football. Accra Great Olympics Swedish coach Tom Strand is in trouble after the Ghana Football Association ordered him to pay a sum of 35,000 Ghana cedis to Mediema for illegally terminating his contract. Tom Strand took a French leave from the Takwa-based side after a 3-1 loss to Mamelodi Sundowns in a CAF Confederations Cup playoff tie in Pretoria. The status committee of the FA has therefore ruled that the 35-year-old breached his contract when he walked away from his 2-year contract without following the right procedure, and has been charged accordingly. 10 months after he left Mediama, the former Bichim United boss returned to take up new entrance Accra Great Olympics. Now, the under-17 side of Ghana, wild as some weeks ago, they played splendidly in the AFCON tournament. But then again, they have another chance to win some hearts in the world, and that is going to be the under-17 World Cup. Well, that draw is going to be held later on Friday. Management team Chief Kweku Eyia and the head coach Pakwesi Fabian are expected to witness the ceremony. The officials of the Black Starlets will be part of the delegation that will be inspecting the accommodation and stadium facilities to be used for the tournament, which will be done after the draw. There will be a workshop for delegates where everything one needs to know about the competition will be discussed. Now, the two officials will return home later on Sunday, but the Black Starlets, more importantly, finished second at the African Championship and will be joined by Guinea, Mali and Niger. They could be paired against South America oppositions Paraguay, Chile, Brazil and Colombia. Europe had Spain, Turkey, France, England and Germany qualified from the UEFA championships. Now, the 2017 FIFA Under-17 World Cup finals will be played from 6th to 28th October. All right, so that is it with the FIFA Under-17. But let's move away from that. Let's go straight to some transfer news. And Manchester United fans have been excited all day after it was revealed they have agreed a fee of around £75 million with Everton for striker Romelu Lukaku. However, this may burst your bubble. Everton sources say no deal or agreement has been reached. The 24-year-old Belgium international scored 25 Premier League goals last season. United, who have been chasing Lukaku for most of the summer, may not be pursuing their interest in Real Madrid's Alvaro Morata after this development. The move for Lukaku is not connected to talks aimed at taking United forward Wayne Rooney to Everton. So there's a bit of confusion about whether or not that particular deal has been struck. Multiple sources disclose that it has been agreed, yet it has not. We definitely will be monitoring that situation and we're bringing you updates subsequently here on TV3. But we do some tennis now. And second seed Novak Djokovic moved into the third round with a straight set win against Adam Pavlasek at Wimbledon. The three-time champion raised to a 6-2, 6-2, 6-1 victory in just over 90 minutes, being 1 hour 30 minutes on court 1 against the 22-year-old. Djokovic really looked troubled against the world number 136 from the Czech Republic, who was making his debut at the championships. Elsewhere, Juan Martín del Potro was kicked out of the Wimbledon after a sensational display from world number 589, Ernest Gobes, who sealed a 6-4, 6-4, 7-6 win. That is a 3 straight set win. Now the 28-year-old will now play Novak Djokovic in a third round on Saturday. And that's exactly where we bring an end to the Sports Bulletin tonight. My name is Thierry Nyan, and remember, you can definitely join us for more sports news later here on TV3. As of now, Natalie Fort and Alfredo Kansei, do stand by.
Well, have you ever wondered who the dancers, singers and models of your favorite music videos are? Well, the lives they live both on screen and off screen, and how they handled stereotyping. Our reporter Brenda Lutrot gets up close with video vixen Cassandra Nash Hills.
Video vixens are female performers that appear in hip-hop-oriented music videos. Majority of female performers under the social gaze are mostly portrayed as fragile, unintelligent, unworthy and deceptive, and are usually stereotyped as Jezebels. Due to the form-fitting clothing that exaggerates their physique, many vixens are seen as promiscuous. But who are video vixens in real life? Meet 23-year-old video vixen Cassandra Noosh Hills. Noosh says she stumbled on the craft during her days in university.
I was actually a model, and then I went to Legon for Liman Hall Week, and then the dancer that was supposed to come and dance didn't come. So the organizers said they wanted a dancer before the other fashion designers come and showcase the other one. So I was like, okay, I will do it. So when I was dancing, there was this guy, he's called J Black. He was like, I should stop modeling and dance. So he took me to a set that was 4x4 featuring Vibes. Famous film shot it. That was my first video.
According to her, her father initially rejected the idea of her being a video vixen due to the passive stereotype given to them.
My auntie liked the idea. My mother is cool. She's cool. My father didn't like the idea. And it's not everybody that wants their child to be on TV and wearing shorts and people talking about them.
Noosh dismissed the negative perception of female performers being promiscuous, adding it is dependent on the individual.
People call us names like prostitutes, a lot of names, but it depends on the dancers and the models. They go on set and they are all over the artists and they think they are those girls that go home with people, but me, no.
According to her, most video vixens earn between 500 cedis and 1,000 cedis for a performance, enough to make a living. Noosh says she aspires to be a journalist in the near future and has always desired a life on screen. We stumbled on one of her rehearsal sessions. While a number of video vixens have love for the job, others use it as a platform to gain popularity from the masses to catapult them to their desired level. Many video vixens are aspiring actors, musicians, dancers and professional models with the potential to make a name for themselves in other career paths. Noosh has been nominated for the Rush Energy Dance Awards.
Looks like Cassandra made a good decision to move from modeling to dancing. Lots of skill there. Still on entertainment, longtime manager of Hip Life star Castro the Destroyer, DJ Ames, says the singer's family has spent a lot of money in their desperation to locate their son. He lamented several juju men and pastors have exploited the family with fake promises to work out Castro's return.
It's been 3 years after a report of singer Castro's drowning broke. While some Ghanaians gave up hope of he ever returning, his family is still hanging on to hopes of their son's return. Juju men and pastors have been very good at exploiting the family's desperation.
So be our say one or Nibia or who say or Pawambra and to affect challenge.
When this issue came, a whole lot of people have been saying a whole lot of things. I was in Adan, and the fetish priest asked us to go to the riverside. He has seen Kasru coming, so they should get the boats and the rescuers to be present and pick him, because the spirit is then. Later, before we realized, the man was sitting in a trucker drinking ice water and eating eggs, coming to Accra. A whole lot.
The hitmaker's manager, Darling Ames Kote, aka DJ Ames, recounts how some con men have made fortunes after convincing the family to sacrifice money for Castro's return.
I would say today that we went to places, we consulted. So how far we can get in touch with what has happened really to our boy. Asamoah have done that too. They did well. Whatever you tell Asamoah about this issue, they were paying money here and there so that they can rescue the guy from the river. But the whole thing seems more spiritual than what the naked eye could see.
Empathizing with the singer's parents, he explained they have for the past 3 years spent their wealth on consulting oracles and fake pastors, but to no avail.
That's what issue by one. It brought a lot of pastors, sleeping pastors, into a living ones, and everybody is conjuring. They conjure everything that they want and they say, and which never materialize. We couldn't get anybody, one person, to tell us that this is what has happened.
So you spent a lot of money.
A lot. Yes, so malams. Go there, when you hear this, man, I pity the father, Mr. Shan, I pity Auntie Dede, for all that they have later to pump into him to get their child out.
Whilst the family and loved ones hope for a closure on the case, DJ Ames wants the family to ignore anybody who makes such monetary demands and move on with life.
Well, today is exactly 3 years since the sudden disappearance of Castro. Some Ghanaians have been sharing memories of the hit maker. Our reporter Brenda Lutrut has more.
Thursday, 6 July marks exactly 3 years since the sudden disappearance of Castro the Destroyer. And we took to the streets to find out what people think. Going forward, are they expecting to see him back? Or do they believe that indeed he has passed on?
I miss a lot about Castro, his music, his dancing overall.
I'm surprised about his mysterious disappearance, but I'm sure that he will definitely come back.
Yen ni oti say na o kwa kwaji na ni kakra na nsuo afa no ya ye bia ye hunu 3 years ni still na ye hunu nti ye hwe nyame na obeya man say obeba na say oh ma.
How can a person be in a sea for how many years now? Almost getting to 3 or 4 years. It's impossible. I don't think we shall see him. I miss him a lot though.
As a musician, and you know Castro, anytime you don't have anything and Castro has, he's going to give it to you.
I miss him with his creativity and artworks on stage. He's one of the best hip life artists I would always remember.